A Tesla is useless in cold weather. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here, and grab your nice hot stein of coffee because we're going to have a look at an article describing the experience of a brother and sister driving a Tesla in very cold weather and just how many times they had to recharge and the terrible hit to the range of these vehicles in the cold. It really makes me wonder if they're suitable for a lot of the markets that they're being sold in, or when we will start to get aftermarket add-ons, maybe a small little diesel heater that can be used in the cold weather to heat up your battery, or maybe gas powered if you want to be really good for the environment. Because hey, you can't run it off solar or electricity, can you? It just destroys your range. Or if you're in snow or cloudy weather, it's not going to work. So let's have a look at this article, guys. So, a brother and sister say they had to stop 6 times in one day to charge their rented Tesla in cold weather after the battery drained quickly. 6 times. I mean, that is just... They're never going to buy a Tesla in their life now because of that. I mean, wow. He and his sister rented a Tesla, needed to stop 6 times in one day to charge it. I mean, sure, maybe 3 times you might stop in a petrol car, more usually when you want to brake and stretch your legs. And it's probably, the benefit of this is it forces people to more often take a break, to rest, revive, and survive. Is that still a thing? Do they still have those, brekkie, the little biscuit stops with the Kit Kats, where you get a shitty coffee, although it's probably on par with what I'm drinking now. I mean, so that's the benefit. Okay, the electrical cars, by forcing people to stop, rest, revive, and survive, will, I would imagine, have a benefit to road safety. But from a practical perspective, it's just nuts, having to stop this many times to charge the battery. And how much is it going to cost? So, Xavier Stevenson and his sister Alice drove from Orlando, Florida, to Wichita, Kansas. Stevenson said he'd heard others had similar issues. Heard said there hadn't been a major increase. Okay, so it's probably always at a high level during winter. I mean, it's the tech, guys. So, they wanted to find out what it was like to drive a Tesla, so they rented one from Hertz for a trip from Orlando, Florida to Wichita, Kansas. You know what? I'm going to get up. Let me just get up Google Earth Pro, guys, and we will have a look at where that is. Because most of the viewers here were all Aussies. So we've got to look at where all these strange American places are. Hang on, let me just load it up. Okay, while that's loading, hang on, where are we looking at? Orlando, Florida. Orlando, Florida. There we have it. Here we go, we're zooming in. Okay, Orlando, Florida. We want to get directions. We'll go Orlando, Florida. Where is it? To Wichita, Kansas. Kansas. Come on. What's going on? Is that doing it? We'll have to wait. Come on. It's paused. Oh, there we go. Yeah, okay. 1,000. Okay. Well, give me a direction. Okay. We've got 1,515 miles. So that's a decent trip. Guys, that's a decent trip. How do we see these? Does it show it on the map? We'll go by car. Anyway, so they're going from here all the way to Kansas. So that's what? Through Georgia or through Alabama, Mississippi, Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, and through to Kansas. That's a big trip. But in one day, 6 stops. I mean, come on, let's have a look where they're going here. Come on, where's the suggested route? I want to see if it maps it on here. Yeah, come on. Oh, what do I have to print this out? Okay, man. Anyway, you know what I mean. We're talking a big trip here. Enough of me playing with bloody Google Earth. I still love Google Earth. The fact that it was difficult, you know, when it was brand new. I remember that I was playing with it all the time. Anyway, back to this. Okay, so they did a long trip. They say they knew electric cars would need charging en route and expected it to take longer after the weather turned so cold in late December. But what the siblings didn't expect was just how often they'd need to plug in. He told Insider it got to the point where the battery would drain faster than it would charge. This is the future, guys. This is the future. I mean, probably in Queensland, in Queensland it's probably perfect. A little runabout. I'd love I used to have a Smart for 2. I actually wanted to get that on hydrogen. A little one like that, just a little flitzing around the city electric little fun car would probably be fine. But for this, when they set off, Stevenson said they could drive for at least 2.5 hours before needing to charge the Tesla. And that's not too bad. 2.5 hours, you probably want to take a break anyway. We ended up having to stop 1 to 1.5 hours to charge for an hour. Okay. So, every 1 to 1.5 hours, they would have to stop to charge. So you're pretty much driving for 1 hour or 1.5 hours, then you stop for an hour. Drive for an hour, stop for an hour. Drive for an hour, stop for an hour. I mean, on a trip that long, wouldn't you just go to the next Hertz and go, no, stuff this, get me a new car. This thing's a piece of rubbish. Wow. Then an hour and a half, and then 2 hours, he said. So beyond the lost time, it also got to the point where it was between $25 to $30 to recharge. $25 to charge. Let's put that into Aussie dollary dues. Hang on, 25 USD to AUD. We're talking $37 and 44 Australian cents. So nearly $40 to charge, which is still a lot better than a full tank of petrol. But how often are you filling up the petrol on a trip like that? Sure, you'll be using it more. You have the heater going on because you'll be cold. But damn. He said, Hertz said on its website that renting a Tesla was always cheaper than gas, but added that he'd found the claim to be far from his experience. Yeah, no, that's false advertising right there. Right there. He said when he and his sister first called Hertz, the agent told him he'd had nothing but Tesla calls today and had no idea why they were having issues. Yeah, it's the temperature. It's the temperature. A Hertz representative later told Insider, "We've not experienced a significant increase in communication from customers about the battery of their EV rentals. However, battery range varies by vehicle manufacturer and can be influenced by multiple factors, including weather and driving conditions." Every 1 hour at one point. I mean, I guess if for just driving around. I mean, like today, I went and checked at the post office. I went and got my 7-Eleven coffee. That was it. That was nothing. Little tiny trip in the suburbs. Probably fine. Perfect for your 10-minute city. But long distance, I mean, if I was taking the kids on a camping trip, or even if I have to drive out to Ipswich for work, for a project meeting tomorrow, what am I going to do at the school I go to? Ask them to bring an extension cord out of the office so I can plug in my electric car? So, the Stevensons were not alone, though, in reporting Tesla charging problems in cold weather. A 44-year-old radio host from the city of Lynchburg in East Virginia told Insider it was 19 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 7 degrees Celsius when he was left stranded just before Christmas because his Model S wouldn't charge. So, I mean, Stevenson said Hertz told him to go to the closest branch to get a new car. However, they did not have Teslas there, nor even the equivalent. So I headed back in a Nissan Rouge Sport. At least it's economical. And Tesla did not respond to comment. So there we have it, guys. Let's have a bit of a talk about it. Now, I know people love their electric cars, and the government here in Queensland is throwing money at people to get you to buy one. But just look at the use cases. Look at the examples. There's enough people out there who have been driving these things. Look at the different weather. Look at what you're going to have to use it for. Do you need to tow things? What's your business? Is it just for flitzing the kids to school and driving around to after-school sports? around your city, or are you on the road traveling big distances? Do you have a garage at home where you can plug it in and charge? That's going to be a big separator. Anyway, guys, my concern is that the government intervention in this is going to drive up the cost of everything else. So it'll only hurt the poor. Don't worry. Don't worry. It'll only hurt the poor. That's the Labour way, guys. Oh, boy. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one. Check out HeiseBim and Heise Does if you're a fan of the channel and want to look at other things I do. You can support us on YouTube or Patreon, use our referral links, buy our pocket squares, or call us if you need an architect. Take care, everyone. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next episode of HeiseSays. Bye for now.